Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Carpenter here on my lockdown exercise with cycling mask, bike clock just over here. I'm on Kingfisher Way, outside a very historical building, which is, if you can see it just there, it's in that big grey concrete brutalist style, and it's our Cold War nuclear bunker, because this site that we're currently on all used to be government offices from about World War II. And it's since been, really, since I started working in the civil service, the whole site, with the exception of the government offices that I worked in, was converted to a new and actually award-winning housing estate, the Accordia. And this building behind me is the Cold War bunker. And it's just an incredible, if very ugly, brutalist piece of architecture, which you, I guess in the grand scheme of things, very, very rarely see in Cambridge, not least because, as you can see, it's got absolutely no windows, bearing in mind it's kind of designed to deal with pretty much everything except a direct nuclear strike, I believe. And it's quite big, and on a good day actually you can get official tours around this site, and at the moment it's a building site for some renovation work done on it. It goes all the way around there, and you can see, if I can just darken the camera slightly, there you go. And like I said, it was during World War II that a whole host of otherwise temporary buildings were built on this site. And I apologise for having sunglasses, my normal glasses aren't with me because it is very bright outside. This whole site going up to Brooklands Avenue that way was, like I said, small hastily built huts which lasted on that site, or on this site even, right up until the 1990s. And then the whole site from the millennium was cleared. You can see how far down it goes. Brooklands Avenue being all the way down there, the old Cambridge University Press buildings being over there. And it was converted, as I said, into what became a signature housing development, which has won many awards. And one of the nice things about it is on the ultimately wasteland that it became, they kept the mature trees, not necessarily because they were particularly just to have a nice to have, but also they do wonders for property values. And as you can see, this wonderful Horsechestnut behind me is huge, and you can see another one just over there behind that row of houses. And so one of the things that really stands out this area from perhaps other more modern housing developments is it's full of mature trees. And those were perhaps some of the ones that were originally planted on the site when the, like I said, let's take these shades off, when the hastily built office buildings were built. And if you look through the post-war directories of the city, one of the things I noticed is that one ministry or department of central government is listed after another as being on this site, which actually tells us a number of things. One is the degree of centralisation that happened after the end of the Second World War, because in the interwar period, a lot of the things that happened were really done by local authorities with the, if I can put it this way, the direction of central government through various acts of parliament. And I've got this wonderful book, which is basically a centenary of municipal progress, 1835 to 1935, which basically lists, amongst other things, all of the acts of parliament that affected local government and that compelled local government to make improvements. But from the end of the Second World War onwards, with really the National Health Service being an epitomising this, it was central government that decided to run things directly. And so I think it must have been in 1985, a similar book to its predecessor was published, which was all about municipal decline, because many of the services perhaps have been taken over by central government. And so, funnily enough, the pressure that we have nowadays is to try and reverse at least some of that, so that actually there is a point to local government other than being the administrative wing of central government. I'm going to leave this one there, but there are a couple of other places that I'm going to stumble across, but given that I was in the vicinity of the nuclear bunker, I thought I'd just do a quick feature on it, so stay safe.